Hey, this is Marcus.
Hey, this is James.
Hi, this is Royce.
This is Nick.
Hey, this is Ty.
Hey, it's your boy Mike Mo.
Hey, this is Vinny.
This is Dog.
It's your boy Shabrady.
This is Jonathan.
You're listening to the
Podcast.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 1, Week 1. You know, Chris, how's the off-season been for you?
Oh man, it's been busy. You know, we switched our messenger from this political group chat. Now it's getting back to that fantasy football.
You're right. Yeah, our chat's a little slow during the off season. It was a tumultuous time in America during the off season, but now that football is back, all the people are gonna be at home and being well behaved now, watching football on Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know
Yes,
what's
sir.
crazy? I totally forgot. I did the "What's up, guys?" until I did it. That right. I don't know. I guess
you like Pavlov yourself, where every time you press play, what's up, guys?
Yeah. I press play. I say "What's up, guys?" and then I say 3, 2. This is behind the scenes. I say 3, 2, 1. Go, and then I say "What's up, guys?" So,
Oh man.
yeah, I totally forgot I did that.
You have a quick question for us. What's your quick question this week?
All right, quick question. It's always fun after every draft. What is the funniest team name so far, and what's the funniest player name?
Well,
I'll start off.
first.
Oh, you go
I'll go
first. Go ahead.
All right, we're off our mojo a little bit.
Yeah, we're it's been a while, so we got.
I looked back through the names really quick, and the one that made me like audibly laugh was to walk Matt Chen through, because he's playing Yi this week, and it's just meta with the Discord name. So that was my favorite team name. What's your favorite team name?
I just got that joke right now because it's a play on the words "The Rock," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That one's pretty. Mine was Top Gunna. So that one, still haven't seen the second movie, but still pretty good.
Oh, I didn't realize that was like a Top Gun reference. Actually,
Was it not? Is it not?
I don't know. I you know what? Maybe I don't know if Timmy's bright enough for that to be a Top Gun reference. Is that a Valorant reference? If you're like,
Oh,
if
that's
you're like
true too.
a
I
top
wouldn't put it.
fragger,
Yeah.
like, and then like Gunna, like the rapper. Like, I don't know if he's that smart enough to make it a triple entendre. Maybe a double. Any one of those
Maybe.
doubles.
Yeah. All right. And my favorite player name is Yi Taylor, just on the
Yeah.
play of Jonathan's name.
Yep. That's mine. My other two that made me chuckle were honorable mentions for NFL YoungBoy.
Mhm.
NFL YoungBoy George Pickens is that guy in camp at least, and then mob ties for Antonio Gibson, because he lucked into this
I know.
Antonio
This is that
Gibson
kinda.
event. So
Yeah, that kind of pisses me off a little that Timmy gets like all the breaks, and it has to be Timmy that auto picked him, and then the other guy gets shot. Like,
Yeah.
what are the chances?
no justice, dude. That's all I gotta say. No justice.
I know.
All right. So we're just gonna go over our draft and games recap before we go into actually some trades. You know, usually we don't have any. Oh, go ahead.
Before we get
Oh.
to that, there's a for long-time listeners, you may notice that maybe this episode is coming. We usually do a preseason episode where we do a mock draft and like try to predict, right? So the reason that this episode is out late and we're doing this so late is because one of our league member, for people that aren't in the league, for
Yes.
viewers that aren't in the league, I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys are out there.
Also, it's just a nice little time capsule for us if you guys rewatch this as well.
Yeah. One of our league members, James, James Z Fam is his team name. He just got married to my sister, so congratulations to them.
Yep. Congratulations.
But we'll hop right into the draft recap then. Go ahead.
So yeah, how'd you feel about your pick order, draft order, booty games? So maybe booty games first, into how the pick and draft order came out, and then if you had any thoughts on it. But yeah, for preseason stuff.
I thought the games were pretty fun this year. James always does something like something RNG and then something like kind of weird / thinking / puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cooking is obviously the main event.
Yeah.
The puzzle game was actually pretty hard. You don't really know a lot of team logos, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So yeah. What did
Yeah.
you think of the games?
I actually really he said he made a comment about bringing $5 for like a gotcha game,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and I didn't know what's expected, but I was really pumped pulling for Pokemon cards. So I really enjoyed that. Um, my question for you, Dave, is I thought your egg roll was by far and the way the most unique, delicious. Like you deserve first place, but how'd you go from that first pick order, getting those full 20 points, to fifth?
You know, it's because I traded away. Actually, the card pack I traded to get away was probably the first. So I think that would have sealed the deal for me because I think I
Mm,
scored like middle of the of the puzzle drawing.
yeah.
But even if I did get the first pick, I probably wouldn't have gone in the first half of the draft anyways,
Oh wow. Okay.
just because my keepers weren't that great. So you need to get that like edge somewhere.
Okay.
I'll explain it more. I guess did you wanna talk about the games, or should I explain my pick order a little bit more, why I chose or where I
Go ahead.
did
Just
choose?
explain it. Yeah. Go ahead and just explain your pick order.
Yeah, so I think with since we had some pretty strong keepers in our league this year, picking near the end of the draft would be better because instead of like maybe picking like in the top half and then waiting like maybe until pick 30, like the 30th guy off the board because like maybe 5, 6 of the first round keepers got kept or
Mm-hmm.
first rounders got kept, you would
Mm-hmm.
have the RB1 and then maybe like the RB 15, but in my eyes, I thought that if I got like the RB7 and then the wide receiver one, I have that edge there, that top tier wide receiver that can compete with like the likes of CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Justin
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson that are being
Yeah. Yeah.
kept by other people. Because
Yeah.
if I go running back like Jonathan Taylor at number 1 and
Yeah.
then I wait around and maybe I get like a Keenan Allen at the end of the first,
Yeah.
that ain't good enough to keep up with those guys.
Mm,
But so if you get like a Stephon Diggs and then you get like an Alvin Kamara, that's who I was thinking.
mm-hmm.
That might be good enough with some crafty waiver wire pickups and moves during the middle of the season to keep up with the big name keepers.
Okay. Um. All right. I see. You know what? After I think we were playing a drinking game and I found out I won. I was like second pick. Like I just wanted the
Uh
top
huh.
two. And as I mock drafted, I was like, damn. Like I really like where James was. I think that fifth pick was actually really nice. Like
Mhm.
setting up my draft. I really like that Michael James tie spot.
Mhm.
Personally. But yeah, I didn't realize that until I just kind of was mocking.
Mhm.
With all our keepers put away into those rounds. So it's yeah, I didn't realize it until then.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, you guys didn't know which keepers were being kept in which round if you just like did the like right away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think Royce picking in the first was probably the best spot for Royce to pick, except he fucked
Mhm.
up his draft so hard.
Yeah,
We'll talk
which
more
we'll
about
talk about.
that.
We should talk about that. Which I think we'll talk more about the people that kept stuff. All right, rolling into so those were a recap of our booty games. It was egg rolls this year for our cooking contest, um, pulling Pokemon cards, and our puzzle game was a sketch of the Seattle Seahawks
Mhm.
drawing, which got us our draft order and our draft. Out of 10, how would you rate your draft? Or I mean, you had a different rating according to this thing, but how would you
Oh,
rate your
out
draft?
of 10? Oh, okay. I didn't really read. I just read rate your draft. So I
Yeah.
did a B, so I guess let me convert that. I guess it'd be like a 7.5 or an 8,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, here just looking at the draft again, some people I thought would fall to me, so I like didn't reach for them for where I did, and some
Mhm.
people when the raft gets picked up in the middle rounds, you just lose track of like
Yeah.
who's been picked, who's still on the board. And then
Absolutely.
Sleeper has their ADP that kind of jumbles all the players,
Mhm.
right? And so I think in hindsight, probably could have picked a little bit better in my later rounds, could have swung on a couple more rookies, but
Mhm.
all in all, I think maybe a 7.5 should be is all right
Yeah.
for not having that great keepers.
Okay.
What about you?
I gave myself a 6. Like I don't hate my team, but it's just I definitely fell for. It's one of those years where I fell for value instead of picking up the and I picked up some players I'm more indifferent about. I'm not unhappy with my draft, but it definitely could have been better with my keepers being Cam Akers and Jalen Hurts in double-digit rounds. But yeah, personally, I don't hate my draft. I'm not sure if anyone's really high on my team, but I felt like I could have drafted better.
I mean, like you say you like kind of fell for value, but at the
Mhm.
beginning of the draft, you said like you gotta get your guy like on the turns, and
Yeah,
like
and
you really didn't. And I know it's hard like kind of falling into the temptation of like you see like Jerry
yeah,
Judy right there at like at the top of
yeah.
sleeper, and then like you scroll a little down, you're like, damn, there's like a 20
Mhm.
ADP difference. It's hard to go and get that guy down when you're
Yeah,
staring sleeper in the face. But yeah,
yeah.
I totally get it.
And I didn't use Sleeper personally. I was using a different draft tool, but yeah. There's like I got my guy in like 2 of the rounds, maybe 3 of the rounds, but
Hmm.
um other than that, and then yeah, I just kind of went off the strat I pulled up in. Selecting Mark Andrews. I don't think I really mocked with Mark Andrews. I thought he would have gone way before, um, and I would have ended up with one of those tier of wide receivers that ran right before them. So it just kind of went there.
Hmm. I see. Okay,
Uh,
well, what is your favorite pick that you out
my
of your team?
my favorite pick, which is when I said like I gotta get my guy, is AJ Dillon. I'm pretty high on him. Um, he wasn't gonna come back to me. Um,
That's a good
Oh,
pick.
also
I like
being a
that
Packer
pick.
homer, like,
Hmm.
yeah, I like that one. And actually, Amari Cooper, I know others might not think, but I think he, if he stays healthy, he's a great wide receiver, and he's the best receiver on that team. Um, just unfortunate with his quarterback situation. What about yours?
Um, yeah, I would have definitely picked up AJ Dillon if he made it back towards me. For
Mm-hmm.
me, my favorite pick is probably Cole Kmet in the 12th round. I
Mm-hmm.
probably could have picked him up a little bit earlier, but by that time I saw that only maybe one or two other people needed a tight end,
Yeah,
and guys like Goddard and Fryermuth were still on the board, and I knew he was more of a sleeper pick, to be honest.
yeah,
But there's been like more recently, I guess he's been getting more recognition from the podcasts that are like doing like breakouts or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But at the time, there wasn't too much news on him. I guess he had like maybe one or two articles written about him at the
Mm-hmm.
time, so I felt good that he'd be under the radar. So I really liked him at 12. And I mean, rooting for your home team is pretty good. I mean, I kind of regretted not picking Cooper Cup last year because he was
Mm,
on the Rams. So it was between AR and Michael Thomas, and I'm glad I kept Allen Robinson.
for sure, for sure. So on the flip side, your least favorite pick, Cole Kmet and AR. What's your least favorite pick
Yeah,
this year?
I mean, I dropped my least favorite pick. My least favorite pick was Watson, which is
Uh,
kind of a Christian Watson rookie on the Green Bay
Green Bay
Packers for
Packers. Yep.
people that don't know. Um, I honestly thought he would get healthier faster than he did, and he'd get some reps in with Aaron Rodgers. But
Yeah.
it seems like he's like pretty. It seems like he's good to go for week one, but haven't really gotten that connection with Rodgers. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Rodgers, he likes his guys, and I don't think they have that chemistry yet
Yeah.
since he's getting reps with Dobbs. I think it's more of a knee-jerk reaction to you picking up Romeo Dobbs because that
Okay.
was who I really wanted on Green Bay. What
Gotcha.
about you?
For me, it was definitely Gus Edwards. I tilted at like Christian Kirk. Chris Olave and Christian Kirk were on my board, and I kind of tilted there. Um, yeah, I knew I was gonna draft him later on, just to put him in the IR spot, because he's on the pup right now. But yeah, I would say Gus Edwards without a doubt. I was tilted off that pick, which would tell you about another question later. Um, the pick I'm most excited about, you know, maybe not my favorite pick, but the one I'm most excited about is Romeo Dobbs. Like I know you were going after him, the true wide receiver one
True.
for the Green Bay Packers. I'm pretty pumped about him. But it could be me as a homer, could be me, just camp reports. So we'll see how it goes. Being a rookie in Green Bay. Yourself?
I'm
What are you
most
looking forward
excited
to?
about MVS and Mahomes' long connection. I think MVS is not too bad of a player, and I think he
Okay.
could fit into that Tyreek type role. And I do think he's a little bit better than Mecole Hardman, who
Mhm.
was in that role before, like the speedster on the outside.
Yeah.
So I think MVS might be a little bit more reliable for Mahomes, and with Tyreek leaving, he might lean on him a little bit more. So I'm hoping we do see that connection.
Okay. Um, one player you hoped would fall to you, but got sniped.
It's hard to plan for these things, but I mean, I'm sure everyone had the Sutton hype, and if I
Mhm.
didn't have Sutton or Mike Williams, if in all my mock drafts I got either Sutton or Mike Williams, and in the real draft they went
Mm,
like so early, which I feel like was a problem for a lot of people. Like, why do they
yeah.
even mock? Because like people in our league like we all like read articles, go on Reddit,
Mhm.
listen to podcasts or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
So like they'll reach, and then you're stuck with like people like who get like no news, like Cordarrelle Patterson or like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Amari Cooper.
yeah, or Amar, like people that get like no
Yeah.
Samaje P
Yeah. Yeah.
Ryan, like
There's no
people like
hype.
that, no hype, no
Yeah.
nose thing, and
Yeah.
then you see them at top of the chart and they're like, oh fuck
Mhm.
it, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Um, I really wanted Rashad Bateman in most of my drafts, but I had Mark Andrews, so I didn't reach for him there. Otherwise, that Chris Olave pick that's going to come up quite often tilted me. Um, then I would say those two are the ones I probably most wanted, but got snipes.
Hmm.
There's other honorable mentions of just players I wanted, but I wouldn't say like I got sniped. What was around that got you fucked up? Was there around that got you fucked up?
Like um when wait, why did I? Oh, the one that got me fucked up was when Timmy missed his pick like 3 times and he had to get Antonio Gibson. I think like that was like probably one of the funniest things to happen because
Okay.
like of all the bad news about Antonio Gibson
Yep.
getting benched, going to punt
Yep.
return, and then Timmy would be the one to get him. So I thought that was pretty funny. What about you?
We'll talk about that other one, but for me, just being like fucked up or tilted, it was definitely that 8-9 turn that I told you after Olave and Kirk fell off. I didn't really. I should have had some players queued up, but yeah, I didn't. I wasn't really too happy with anyone else, so I just kind of picked those ones. Um, yeah, someone else's pick I really like were definitely James's picks. My mocks looked a lot more like his drafts, just rounds earlier, but I wouldn't have minded his team at all, because I was targeting players like Chase Edmonds and Tony Pollard and Rashad Bateman. Um, anyone's picks you like?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the value again, the no news wide
Mm-hmm.
receivers that are just there, like, but they have no news, so they just fall. So like Amari Cooper's for good value. I think Hunter
Yeah,
Renfro had some good value too. Um, Ayuk I thought was pretty good, and Jerry Judy. I mean, it could go either way. Jerry
yeah,
Judy's pretty good too, like with all the
yeah.
Broncos hype. So I thought those were good picks too.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next question, we all know someone else's pick that you're happy they got their guy. Our first standing ovation, our first handshakes over the table.
Holy, that was so lit.
What a memorable moment. And it's got to be Josh Jacobs. Thoughts on that Josh Jacobs pick?
I mean, you know, I felt like after we all shook hands multiple times, we shook in open. Sometimes you like double dipped, you shook hands and then you shook hands with the same person again. I kind of felt bad for Roy. I mean, I don't want to bag on him or
Yeah.
anything, right? But that was from the bottom of my heart, Royce, a terrible pick. Okay. Okay, like unironically, that was a bad pick. But I heard him muttering to himself. He said, "The only person I gotta convince is myself."
True.
And the only thing I have to say to that is, man, tell me what shit you smoking. I need some of that to convince yourself, dude. That's crazy talk.
Oh,
But yeah,
shit.
I do hope he has a good season, but not too good, and make it us eat our words. Because I think that was the
Okay.
spot James Robinson got picked too,
Yeah,
in
last year
the
sometime.
turn, somewhere right there on the turn.
Besides the low hanging fruit, I thought Adam Thielen in the sixth for Nick. He had Juju, Cooper Cup, and Pittman as keep. So two keepers and then Juju. I felt like that kind of fills in your roles, and Adam Thielen was a little redundant there.
hmm
I felt like he could have gotten away with. I think he had needed a running back there.
hmm
So Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard. I think those two picks would have been way better than the Thielen pick. So personally, yeah, I thought that was not a great pick.
I think Thielen is okay on as a standalone pick. I can see how in roster construction that might not
Yes.
have been good for him there, but
Yeah.
Thielen is a good pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I think Royce's team could have been. I think Royce's team with Royce's team, he had the perfect spot to have the best team, but he just
Yeah.
didn't take it.
Mhm.
Because what he did with his team was he had Michael Thomas and Hopkins coming off of like an injury and a suspension, right? So
Yeah.
he thought he had Amon Ra and Justin Jefferson so they could hold it down until these guys come back. Where
Yep.
I think he should have just gotten like the number one quarterback there
Mhm.
and just had the number ones in every position. So like Kyle Pitts and then
Yeah.
Josh Allen there.
Yep.
So he would have the number one tight end, quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Well, the quarterbacks wouldn't have made it back to him in that fourth round because Josh Allen, Josh Herbert,
No,
Lamar
he could have
Jackson,
gotten it where
and
Josh
Pickens.
Jacobs went.
That's true. He could. Yeah, he could have gone Josh Allen where
So
Josh
that
Jacobs was.
because then you just do like stack up
You're
on
right.
like
Yeah,
you just
all the
stack
number
up
the
on
one ones.
you
Yep.
have 1 1 1 1 and then you have like a bunch of like number twos and you play the
Yeah.
waiver wire and you're good to go.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do agree with you there. I thought you were talking about that 4 or 5 turn, but I agree with you with maybe Josh Allen
Yeah.
at that 3 spot.
With
would
his
have been better.
keepers, he could have totally gone for the number one. Maybe not Kyle Pitts there. Maybe he could wait for like a Darren Waller, hopefully, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, number one's all
Yeah.
around. So, anyways,
Best draft, worst draft?
that was I guess worst draft was Royce.
Okay.
What about you?
Out, and I'm gonna be honest, with the keepers out there between me, Nick, and Royce, is way too close in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really pull themselves away. I do like Nee's strat, like you said, where they have the most. Nee has that top tier quarterback, Darren Waller, and he has the 2 best wide receivers and even RB1. So I like his starting lineup, but then the rest of his draft wasn't that good depth wise. I didn't like. Yeah, I thought Nick said even Nick admitted he tilted, and then yeah, Royce had some reaches and the suspension off injury players that I wasn't sure about either.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. Like they could have had a better draft, but Yi was like walking around and just thinking at like round 8. So that's probably
Yeah.
where his draft tapered off, like around
Yeah.
round 8.
Yeah.
Because he was just thinking and eating
Yep.
Jonathan's chips. And Nick just showed up with the cell phone because his laptop was dead.
Yeah.
And so he just had a cell phone. So I
Yeah.
guess the gods blessed us today. Or that day to so that we can have an more equal league. Yeah.
Honorable mention for best draft, I would say I thought Ty had a pretty good draft until Deontay Johnson got hurt like the next day. Other than that, I thought he had a great draft. And I would say James had the best draft because it was something I wanted to build my team like, but couldn't at my spot. Your thoughts on best draft?
Best draft, I do think James also had a really good draft too. And I thought I put something in for this. I thought James had a pretty good draft. I think Michael's draft wasn't too bad either. I thought it was okay. He had a couple shots here and there.
Yeah.
And his bench is looking pretty nice. Actually, I was looking at it earlier today. His bench is looking nice. But he
Michael's?
still doesn't have he doesn't have a kicker though. So he has to drop someone.
Gotcha.
which I think he's gonna drop Kyron after he plays on Thursday. So
Okay.
look out for that.
All right, 2 early season predictions,
Go
and
ahead.
then championship and toilet. So 2 early season predictions. I think we hit a record high number of trades. I don't even know what the record is, so I should probably do my homework on that before I say anything. But so far, we got 2 trades in week 0, before week 1. I think it's gonna hit. We're gonna be slinging and dealing and all kinds of movement this season. 2 early season.
Yeah, that's a good one. We already got it started off. I think there was you were right about like you need to be there in person. When you're in person at these events, that's when
Yes,
the
sir.
magic. You got the liquid courage going,
Yes,
and you say,
sir.
"Pull that trigger, babe. Pull that random number generator, baby." But my early prediction is that I think after week 1 or week 2, we're gonna have someone on the waiver wire worth. Wait, how much money do we have this year?
200. But so you're saying they're gonna
Oh,
spend all their fab. They're gonna
yeah,
spend
we're
99
gonna
fab.
have a new 296 man this year, or I
Mm.
guess a 199 man this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
And Royce relinquishes this title for once and for all.
Okay.
Or maybe he double downs. Who knows? But
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, my 2 championship teams based on the draft. Honorable mention Ty because of his draft. James and Nia. Definitely assuming health. I think Nia has some of the best starters. And James. My 2 toilets on the other hand being Marcus and Bimmy.
Actually, I have my 2 champions. This is actually I have Michael in, and I have because I thought his draft was pretty good. I mean, he needs to
Okay.
hit on a few question marks,
Yeah.
but if he does hit, I do see the path there. And
Okay.
Yi's team is looking pretty strong right now too.
Nice,
So
nice.
two
Your toilet teams?
the toilet teams easy. Marcus, we are like easily the laughing stock of the draft. I
Yeah,
mean, when
yeah.
he goes Mitchell, Sanders, Harris
Yeah.
back to back into Singletary. I mean, it's hard to get those guys. Like you don't know whose week it's gonna be with those guys.
Yeah.
And I have actually Jonathan in because his
You're-
guys. I don't think Kelsey's gonna be that good this year.
Mm.
Maybe a regression, not a round 1 pick, but definitely not as good as he. Not the edge isn't as good as it was before, and his other positions they're just like maybe middle. There's no one that can pop besides like Debo, right?
I just realized our names. If you were hovering our names on Discord, if they see on the screen recording, it's Dwayne the Walk everything.
Really? Oh yeah, they do. It's just an inside joke. It's gonna be gone next year. It's just I don't know why we're on it this year. But
all right. That's our recap, our predictions. Usually in our week 0 show. All right, let's do to break in the new year and also the liquid courage that was needed for these trades. I think we need to join you, get you that level, and see what you have to talk about. All right.
all right, right here. What are you drinking today?
Something off my shelf. 4 Roses. Hey, 1738.
1738. We'll see
God
where it is
dang.
by the end of the season.
That's to be done by week like 4. Man. So yeah, because of the wedding stuff from one of our league mates, a lot of spicy trades were happening. A lot of drinking, a lot of spicy trades. Should have had 2 trades. Had 1 veto due to a missing player.
Yeah,
But,
James said I dropped him already, and then I said then the trade is void, and then James said God bless. Which I was actually not like excited about it either because I think I had to give away my kicker for like some from random 14th round guy.
All
right, cheers. Oh, that's spicy.
I feel like I needed that. I'm not gonna lie. I think I drank myself into alcohol withdrawals at the wedding.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
Chris
dude.
at the wedding was on another level, but we'll get more into that later.
All right. Green Bay D, First fast spent by myself, dude. So we get home from the draft, and Vince goes like, "Hey, how do your boys look?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I wanted to pick them up." And he explains every detail. Where I'm like, why I think they're gonna be good this year. I'm like, shit. Like, okay, so I put it in for one fab. But yeah,
You
that's,
had
that's
to
what-
have him.
I had to have him.
When
dude.
you
I
put
went
in,
to go get my
when
guy.
you put your pick in for one fab in preseason, it's some guy you have to have.
Other waiver wire movements already. Fire moves dropped for Alberto. I like that pick a lot better. Timmy with the big L, Derek Carr, and dropping KJ Osborne. And then tell me a little bit about your pickup. Zay Jones dropping Christian Watson.
So Christian
Jones, yeah.
Watson at the time wasn't really practicing. I think I don't really remember too well, but
Okay.
Zay Jones. Okay, on the grapevines it says that he's Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. And if you watch the preseason games, he's been like getting targeted the most in preseason and in practice. So I
Okay.
think Zay Jones, and everyone's predicting, Jacksonville to take that leap this year in
Yeah, yeah.
offense. And so I think I could have Trevor Lawrence's, year 2 in the
Yeah.
Jaguars, number 1 overall pick, probably one of the
Yeah.
highest rated quarterbacks. I
Yeah.
could have his number 1 target. And I don't know if this is true or not. I vaguely remember Zay Jones hype like a couple years ago about.
I thought so too.
You remember that? And then like he went
I
to
do
like
remember
the
that.
Raiders. Oh no, some dead team who
Yeah.
didn't really use it, like the Colts or something. I wonder what
Yeah.
round.
I think he was. I thought he had some hype on the Bills, and he
Oh,
went to
yeah,
the
yeah,
Raiders,
yeah.
and he had some blow up games. But yeah, I thought he was gonna do well on the
There was
Bills, right?
some hype in early in his career.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think. Yeah.
All right, didn't you find James Robinson too? How are you so tapped into the Jaguars trading trend? I think you
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you
No.
had like James Robinson like super undrafted, right? Like, you
Same
just picked him up out
resource,
of
dude.
the-
It's the same resource I used to find this guy. They said that I trust them, dude. I trust them. No, literally, James Robinson. Like I remember the day I worked. It was like,
Yeah.
there's this guy out of Jaguars camp, James Robinson. He's looking pretty good, and I'm like, looking pretty good, eh? And so I picked him up, dude. He was fire. Same
don't-
guy said. Word out of Jacksonville's camp is that they really liked Zay Jones. So stay
Yeah.
tuned, dude.
I was like, I remember you. I think we're on this podcast talking about James Robinson, and I was like, do you have the same plug, the same Jacksonville Jaguars plug? All right.
It's the same guy, dude. I swear to you.
Oh man! All right, moving on to our first trade of the year, 4-way trade. I'm sitting there on the couch and I see Tony Pollard for Joe Burrow. What is this? And then we've had talks all night, and then David gets Brandon Cooks for Tony Pollard. Like, what's happening? And Joe Burrow for Royce. So let me break down the trade, and then it was all one-way trades. They're probably too lit to do the 4-way trade.
It was James doing it with his commish powers, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or not?
So
No. Yeah, we all just said one-way trades, but James had
Okay.
the brain power at the time to concoct it.
All right, so you're gonna tell us the story about it because you were included. James gives Tony Pollard, receives Joe Burrow. David gives Brandon Cooks, receives Tony Pollard. Royce gives Joe Burrow, receives Elijah Moore. Michael gives Elijah Moore, receives Brandon Cooks. So tell us, give us a little background about how that trade went on. What was happening? Spicy off-season start.
So like the whole night I was just like saying like, hey guys, like we gotta work this trade here. I think we should all just pick a random numbers round spot. And this was
Yeah.
early in the night, so then everyone's like, I don't know, David. No, I don't know. I'm like, it'll be pretty fun. Trust me. I got skin in the game too. Right? And then so then like, I don't know, David. And then so like whatever. It's like 10 o'clock. We come over to my place for the after party. I think you stayed home to work on your best man speech.
Yeah.
And so they come over, they're like, yo, your family's lit as fuck, David. And then they bring out another bottle of XO, and everyone's like, ah. And then I just finished my lap dance on Michael. And then I was like, the fuck over here, all right, guys? And then so we get in a circle. I'm like, we're doing this right now. And then originally it was just me, James, and Michael. We get in a circle and we're like,
yeah.
let's do this shit right now. 1 is clockwise, 2 is counterclockwise, and I had like a
Okay.
little random number generator on my phone.
Okay.
And then so right when I press the button, you know, Royce, he sees us doing something fun. He wants to get in and play too. So Royce is like, let me get in here. And so I'm like, all right, come on in, Royce. And then we get in our little order. It's random. So I didn't like strategically stand next to like someone I not thought had a better picks than me, right?
Yeah.
Press it. 1, right? And then so it goes clockwise. But the thing is, who gets to pick the random number for the
Yeah.
round? And so it
Okay.
was a fight between Michael and James. James like, bro, it's my wedding tomorrow. And then Michael's like, it's my birthday today, though.
Yeah.
Like I forget what he turned, but it was his birthday day
It's
of his
dirty
birthday.
30. Dirty
Yeah,
30.
30.
Yep. The day before his wedding, the day before James' wedding, but Michael's dirty 30. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So they're fighting, right? And then so they're all right. Only one way to settle this: rock, paper, scissors, right? And I shoot you not. They tie it 3 times in a row. It's a best of a 1. No one wanted to give an inch.
Dude,
Do you know what was crazy? You know what was crazy? They did paper 3 times in a row, both of them, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
And then I think Jay or Michael did scissors, and then James did paper for the 4th time in a row.
Yeah.
And then so Michael got to press the button, and it was boom 6. And I think 6 is fun. I think Jonathan said it. 6 is fun because it won't break your team, but you still got like, you know, people in the 6th round have like question marks, but they also have like potential. So it was a little fun. Yeah.
Oh man, I definitely missed out.
Who was your 6th round pick?
My 6th
Oh,
round,
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
Melvin
there
Gordon.
you go. So you could have had
yeah.
I
I could have had Joe
Joe
Burrow.
Burrow.
I could have had Elijah Moore or Tony Pollard. I don't know. Elijah Moore, Tony Pollard, Joe Burrow. All right. Spicy. Grading that, obviously, you know, up to RNG, like not grading your trading techniques, but David definitely gets an A, receiving Tony Pollard. James gets an F for getting Joe Burrow. Royce gets an A for giving up a quarterback and getting a wide receiver, Elijah Moore, and Michael gets a B just because
for giving
felt
up
like they're
Joe
the same
Burrow
team.
for Elijah Moore. You like that?
You know what? Maybe not for roster construction.
Exactly,
But in a vacuum, I would say Royce gets an A just because of I'm a fan of both of those wide receivers.
Okay. Yeah, I like him too, but he picked Joe Burrow like kind of early, so it's kind of whatever. So for myself, I give an A. If we did this podcast yesterday, I think I'd have given myself like maybe a B minus.
Okay.
But I've been warming up to Tony Pollard recently.
Oh my god, I can't believe you just been warming up to him. I'm pretty big on him, dude.
And I'm cooling off on Brandon Cooks because Michael just hit me back up. He said, "David, you want to reverse the trade, Brandon Cooks for Tony Pollard?" If you asked me yesterday, I might have done it, but he asked me today.
That's spicy.
I talked myself into Tony Pollard, so I said
spicy.
No.
Okay.
For James getting Joe Burrow, it depends on who he gets back.
Okay.
If he trades Joe Burrow, right? Because he
Fair,
has Kyler,
absolutely.
Right? So
we'll revisit these, right? Because we'll revisit all the trades down in the future, and then he flips Kyler Murray and keeps Joe Burrow, or whatever he does. Like definitely the grades will change. But yeah, you're right. So go ahead. So it depends on who he gets back.
Who he gets back? Okay. Royce, I think I'll give him a D because he loses his quarterback. But for like a wide receiver, I mean, it's all right. Depends who he gets. Michael, before he traded it back, I think he would have gone a B for who did he give up? Elijah Moore for. I think that's an upgrade, to be honest, because the Brandon Cooks targets will be there, and he's gonna be in a second year with Davis Mills, and that chemistry we saw from last year was there. I mean, he was his favorite target, but since he traded him away for Elijah Moore, who he drafted in the first place, I think it downgrades him to a C, so just average. I do think Brandon Cooks, I don't know, has higher upside than Elijah Moore, but only slightly.
Okay, so you think Brandon Cooks has higher upside? So let's roll into that. Let's talk about between those two. We got our second trade of the preseason already. Trading back, Michael gives Brandon Cooks, receives Elijah Moore. Royce gives Elijah Moore and receives Brandon Cooks. So, you said you like Cooks more?
I do like Cooks more at this point.
Okay.
What about you?
I put them in the same tier. If I had to choose, it'd be Elijah Moore, personally. But honestly, it's kind of the same to me at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like the difference between like wide receiver 15 and 18 or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So yeah, very minuscule. But yeah, those are two spicy trades. Thoughts about
Yeah.
any other thoughts?
No, that's about it. I mean, it was. I mean, a shame our second trade got vetoed, but yeah. Our hopping right into the week 1 predictions. Man,
yeah.
what was our record last year? Where we tied? Who won?
I gotta pull that up. Remind me to pull that up, and
Yeah.
we can talk about that
Yeah, we'll
next week.
talk about that next week. The first matchup of the day, Chris versus Ngi. Wow. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
The person that does it gets to go last. So go ahead and talk about our
All right.
thoughts.
So, I mean, quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts versus Josh Allen, pretty even there. Josh Allen's better overall football player, but it doesn't matter on the fantasy sheet, so
Uh-huh.
it's even. Running backs, I do give a slight edge to Chris. I do like that McCaffrey upside and the AJ Dillon role. I mean, it all depends on what AJ Dillon's role is.
Mhm.
So I give the slight edge to Chris. For wide receivers, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, same people he had last
Too
year.
good. Too good.
Too
Yeah.
good. You lose there. And I do give you the edge. Mark Andrews touted to be the tight end 1 this year. We'll see if he lives up to that hype. Off to a good start against the Jets. I see this being a close game coming down to probably the CMC and Baker Mayfield chemistry.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen that before. I don't know if Baker checks down too much, but CMC is just so good. I think he's gonna overcome it. But again, there's questions there.
Okay.
What about? Should I just do everything? What did we do last year?
I think we go back and forth. So
Okay,
just
go ahead.
jumping in, I agree with your takes on who has the. So this year I'm just gonna go like who has a slight edge, and otherwise everything else is even. In my opinion, Yi does have the better. I agree with Yi's better at wide receiver. My tight end is better. Should be a close game, and like I said before, if Yi stays healthy, he should be the champion. Yi starters are very nice. And then I think this matchup is gonna come down to our flex of DK versus Ayuk.
Is there any change that you would make as a GM of your team or Ngi's team?
Currently, I'm just kind of playing with my flex position of Cam Akers or DK. So yeah, I think that's currently my debate.
I
What would you
think
do?
DK is good in that spot. Denver revenge game for Russell Wilson. I think Denver's absolutely gonna destroy the Seahawks. So Gino might have to throw a lot more of that game to try and get back in it. So I think DK in that spot is good.
Okay.
And Ayuk, I mean, same goes for Lockett, but Gino is not really that deep threat, so I don't know if
Okay.
Lockett's that great of a play there.
Okay. And then who do you got winning?
All in all, I do think Chris wins this one.
That's what I like to hear.
I think
That's exactly what I like to
with
hear.
all these questions about CMC's hamstring and Baker's, I think like talent just wins out, and I think CMC's demands his targets, and he's good for it, and he'll remind us why he was number 1 last year, and he's gonna be number 1 this year.
Yes, sir. Of course, the podcast hosts always taking themselves, unless we're trying to win on the week for betting. But for the most part, we're betting on ourselves. All right. Next, when we got Timmy versus Marcus, I got QB going to Timmy. Let me pull that game up. It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll start us off then. I think
Go ahead.
QB Derek Carr versus Dak Prescott. Wait, is this the right one?
Oh yeah, this is the right one. We switched roles. So go ahead.
Yeah. Dak Prescott versus Carr. I think this one goes to Derek Carr. He has a new toy, Devontae Adams. I think Devontae might elevate
Derek
Carr's gameplay. And you do have Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller, so I think Derek Carr does have the weapons that he can rely on there against the
Okay.
Chargers. And don't forget, last year it's gonna be what happened the last game of the last year. It was pretty spicy matchup. I think there's gonna be some bad blood between these two teams, divisional matchup. I think it's gonna be a good game. Dak Prescott on the other side lost weapons, so I don't think he'll be
Oh yeah,
that as
yeah,
good, right? He lost Amari Cooper.
yeah.
The running backs go to Timmy,
Oh yeah.
Aaron Jones, and Saquon just beat out Elijah Mitchell and
Yeah.
Sanders. So, but the wide receivers do go to Marcus. He's taking the Timmy strat from last year. However, both of those guys are on weaker teams this year. So the
Ooh, weaker teams. I would say new teams. I'm not sure about weaker, but okay.
weaker than Kansas City and Green Bay. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say weaker. And the tight ends are even. What about you?
I agree with that analysis. I think it's gonna come down to the flex. Flex being Antonio Gibson versus Damian Harris. That's kind of gonna be
Yeah.
the matchup to look at.
I agree. It also comes down to the flex. I mean, it comes down to Gibson really. Does he get the full workload even after he's lost the trust of the coaching staff?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
can imagine a world where Gibson fumbles once and it's JD McKissick in for the rest of the game,
Hmm.
or whoever their other guy is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I agree
it's
with that.
gonna come down to Gibson. Who wins overall?
Um, I think Timmy's got it, and I want to say Marcus, but I'm gonna have to lean towards Timmy.
Yeah, I have to lean towards the defending champ also, just because I mean Marcus's running backs is just looking. I was in that position last year. It's not a great position. It really
Yeah.
caps your upside where if you don't have those RB1s on a week to week basis. So
Yeah.
yeah, Nick
Moving to our
versus
next matchup. Yeah.
Jonathan. Yeah,
Nick
Nick.
versus Jonathan. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Nick versus Jonathan for quarterbacks. It's Russell Wilson versus Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson. So obviously I have um Russell Wilson less ride. I mean, it's a revenge game narrative. I think he's gonna absolutely show you why you have to let him
Wow.
cook.
Okay.
So running backs I give to Nick though, because I think Mixon and Elliott have that safer floor. We don't even know if Dobbins is gonna play.
Yep. Yep.
Wide receivers, I mean, Cup and Pittman, come on. Tight end does go to Jonathan Kelsey, but not by as big of a margin as it has been in past years.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that, but except I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson. I think Lamar Jackson proves it on a contract year. Uh, this definitely he needs Dobbins to play, in my opinion. Otherwise, I'm not sure which running back he's gonna go with. Maybe Damian Pierce, um, and he needs Kelsey to prove his worth. Like keepers, just these teams with great keepers. Nick has a great starting lineup because of his
Hmm.
keepers. If I would change something, it'd be Damian Pierce over Dobbins if injury, and low key, maybe Julio if Godwin is out. If Godwin's not playing, maybe
You're
Julio over
demonic.
Juju. Julio over Juju. So,
Isn't what about Russell Gage? Is Gage
um,
even deeper on the depth chart, or is
I
Gage
think
not ready
Gage
to go?
is deeper. I think he might be ready to go. But
All right.
yeah, that's what I would do.
For running back, yeah, there is the running back play is going to decide it. I mean, we don't know if Dobbins going to go again, but also like there's been like Zeke hype or Tony Pollard hype train going on, so maybe
Yeah,
Zeke's floor won't be as high.
yeah.
I do like Damian Pierce even over Dobbins, even if Dobbins plays, because I mean I
Okay.
think a 100% Damian Pierce is better than a um 80
80. Yeah,
70% Dobbins. So
yeah.
I do like the Damian Pierce play, but all in all, I think Nick should have it with his starting lineup's pretty good.
Okay. Same here. I think Nick's starting lineup's too good. Um, minus the tight end, but Nick should clean this up pretty easily, one-sided. Rolling to the next one, James versus Ty. I think everything's kind of a push here. Kyler Mahomes push. Um, running back play even as a I think just Ty has the running backs here. So Derrick Henry and Lenny versus Najee versus and Chase Edmonds. Um, Wide receiver flex matchup is going to be interesting. If Deontay is playing, this is banking on Deontay being healthy, but Mike Evans, Deontay versus AJ Brown, Mike Williams, and then Marquise Brown versus Rashad Bateman, and Titans push as well. Do you think there's any difference in analysis?
I do give the slight edge to James in wide receivers. Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, I said it was a push.
Yeah,
all around.
I think AJ Brown and Mike Williams. Mike Williams is in the year 2. Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I don't know if Brady still has it this year for Mike Evans and Deontay Johnson. I don't know why I'm kind of off of just Pittsburgh in general this year.
Okay.
So I do give the slight edge to James. I wouldn't make any changes, but I think James pulls this one out.
Okay. The only change I would make if Deontay's hurt is I'd probably play Hunter Renfro. And I got Ty on the other hand. I think his running backs are that much better, and the teams are pretty even.
Oh, our first split.
Yep, our first
Right.
split.
All right, let's go. Let's keep it going.
Oh shit! Oh no, I got this. Oh, did I miss this one?
Which one? No,
Oh,
it's
no,
below,
alright, go ahead.
below. Oh,
Okay,
I
so-
missed this one. Okay, I just peel back the curtain. I missed the on our Google Doc. I didn't answer one of the matchups, so I'm gonna just have to just spitball it.
But let's do this one. We didn't do this one yet. So yourself versus Michael. I have David taking better quarterback and wide receiver with Justin Herbert, Diggs, and Allen Robinson. I got Michael taking the flex with Gabe Davis versus MBS. Otherwise, I think the running backs are a push. And I think this matchup's going to come down to the flex. Like I said, whether Davis comes off his breakout playoff performance, which he's pretty hyped about, and I think MBS with the new contract and opportunity and vacated targets, and definitely the side end points of Freiermuth and Cole Kmet will make here. So whoever catches the touchdown maybe could make the difference.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on your own game?
I also agree. I mean, it all comes down to Josh Allen, who he throws the touchdown to. Hopefully, Diggs get him going a bit, but there has been Gabriel Davis hype and even Isaiah McKenzie hype, who's still on the waiver wire. Wink, wink to anyone that listens this far.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, it just really depends how many touchdowns are thrown and who gets them in this matchup between Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. I don't think I would make a change to my team, but it looks like you have a suggestion.
If I were you, I'd say maybe Pollard over Brees Hall. I'm not sure about that split field in the split backfield in New York just yet. If you can do the wait and see approach, and for Michael, I'll do Elijah Moore or Lazard instead of Gabe Davis. I feel like I'm the one that's kind of lower on him than the consensus, so I might lean that way. You have yourself winning, of course, and I'm gonna take you to take this dub as well.
Oh, let's go! You know, it's always good to start your year off with the W, right? I mean, it just sets you off on such a nice trajectory for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Our last matchup of the week, we got Vin versus Royce. Let's pull that up for myself. So Dwayne the Walk Royce has the better tight end, wide receiver flex. I think Vintuk does have the better running backs in Austin Eckler and David Montgomery. His keepers are too good in Justin Jefferson, Amon Ra taking the wide receiver position, and then quarterbacks are a push. Also, Kyle Pitts, I'm pretty high on him as well. Should do better than T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, any differences in analysis between the two positions there?
Yeah, I think quarterbacks are a push, but I think on Thursday we'll find out how much Matthew Stafford's elbow is actually bothering him.
Yeah.
But besides that, Vin has it on running back. I think the wide receivers are a push. I do like the Brandon Cooks flex play there. I do believe in Brandon Cooks. It's a shame I had to let him go. It was really close, honestly.
Yeah.
But is there? I might, if Godwin's good to go, I might be tempted to play him over who? Javante? Mooney? No, Javante, right? Yeah, Javante.
I would say
So
Montgomery, if anything.
okay, I could do that. Yeah, just put in if Godwin's like gets a full practice in
Yeah.
and is good to go. I think he could really eat on the Dallas defense. But yeah.
For this, I would say it comes down to Vince Cook's trust in the Bears' offense. He's starting Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery, so that's pretty tough.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, I'll probably take out one of those two for Godwin then. But yeah. Who do you have taking this one?
I think it's gonna be the closest matchup of the week. I'm gonna lean slightly Royce, not due to his drafting skills or anything, but just because the matchups between the two teams, I slightly like his keepers a little bit better. Justin Jefferson and whatever he was favored in that I said earlier.
Yeah, I do lean Royce also, despite. I mean, I could be swayed to the other side. It's just so.
It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be the closest
close.
one.
It's that bear stack, really. I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of turned me off. But yeah, it'll be a close one. These two. We'll see who Vin eventually puts into the defense spot. But yeah, it'll be the closest matchup of the week. All right. And with that, episode 1 in the book, season 3.
Sir.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
And then you'll look forward to our regular segments. We just kind of have a lot of recap to do.
And by popular demand, I haven't told Chris this yet, but I do have some in-person podcast recordings.
Okay.
In the works. Just plans. We'll see where it goes.
All
Chris.
right. Sounds good.
All right. Peace out.
Later, guys. Have a good first week, y'all.
Good first week. Good luck, everybody. Bye.
Later.